Hello, I'm aronmsound, and this is Look Up, the show where I interject myself into conversations I wasn't welcomed into and try to bring something else to the conversation, normally a bunch of silliness, and talk about things above our head that we aren't paying attention to, that we would rather ignore, and have a little argument with each other in a tribal way. There's my show. Have a good day. I'll talk to you soon. No, really, for real. What we're doing today is we're taking a look at the middle ground of what is called, if you're not familiar with it, which I'm sure you are if you're watching my show, the manosphere. Which, if you just say it, it sounds like there's a 6'3". Oh, hey, there's a cat in the background. There's a 6'3". Now the algorithm's going crazy. Cat, el gato, hamster, 6'3" hamster, in a very large hamster ball, and that hamster's got a Miami suit on, meaning Armani, tight, very well put together hamster with $300 shirt unbuttoned down to its hamster navel. Hamsters don't have navels. Anyhow, that's what I picture when I say manosphere. Or a He-Man character. Which means it's self-fantasy. Yeah, it's fantasy. Anyhow, so what we're watching today is Pearly Things. And normally she has a panel discussion, and sometimes they get wild, sometimes they go somewhere. It's actually a decent middle of the road conversation. It took me a while to try to vibe what's actually going on in the underlying layers and what the intention of the program is. And I think it's about her trying to find a husband. But that said, in the process, she's got a lot of ideas, and she's finding out a lot of things. And sometimes you learn with her. Sometimes I'm just horrified at what I've seen, because it's rolling the clock back in a convenient standard that makes me feel like revisionist history is real. Is that true? No, please don't let it be. It's a strange practice for people without perspective of longer life to ignore the elders at large or the changes in Western society and act like we need to be in fear of something and roll back to an imagined time period. And so my question is always, which traditional are we talking about? Are we talking about Viking traditional, or what are we talking about? Oh, Western world? Okay, so which? The Victorian area or before then? Because if we're talking about before Victorian, then that's, we're closer to actually wilder than we are now. Look it up. Look up the info, or I'll put it down there. I'm sure if you look at there's a great channel called Horny History. I think it's on TikTok. I keep coming across it. And although I'm not on TikTok, not on that. It comes across in my old man Facebook feed. So it's probably just in the reels or something. Anyhow, Horny History. People were dirty. Joe Dirty. In any case, I've been rambling long enough. Let's talk to Pearl, or with Pearl, or about Pearl. Pearly Things. What's going on? Let's see. Snap you over here. Oh, hey, Pearl. So we're going to join Pearl in the midst of her live broadcast. Pre-recorded, of course. At least for me, because I'm watching it and it's post-live. Although I did watch it live, I only watched about half of it towards the end. So this beginning actually is funny because she's bold. She does her tech on air. Here we go. Hi, Pearl. What's going on?
All right, guys. I'm trying to...
What are you trying to do? Brush your hair?
Extensions.
This is something, by the way.
And I don't really, we're working on this.
Yeah,
Anyways,
no, it's cool. I mean,
so
you
today,
do you.
I decided
The youth
that
I've
I always
noticed
talk about
uses
on
the
my
cameras as a mirror.
channel. If you were applying to a
But it's
job,
cool. I should probably do
if you're
that too.
applying to a job, okay. Actually, let me
If
make
you're applying
sure
to a
I
job,
want to do a whole
yes,
monologue,
which job?
and then not be live. You know what I mean? Okay.
So you don't. Yeah,
let
you're
me
live.
just double check.
Trust. No, you're live.
sure
I
this
got up
shit
early
is
for
live.
this. Because she's in the UK, if you didn't know.
No.
Which gives her an interesting spin. She talks to a lot of people and goes, "Hey,
Prologue,
bruv,
let's see.
bruv, tree. There's three ways we can
This isn't supposed
go
to
on
be
a date."
episode 105.
I don't know what that was. Hey, bruv,
How did I end up on here?
Look, bruv.
I need to edit
I
this
love hearing that, both from the men and women. It's so crazy when a little tiny,
It's supposed to be a
little tiny lady
stream.
goes, "Look, bruv. Here's some beer money." Sorry. Ooh, I had a little jerky. My camera, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Let me fix this.
Yeah, would you get your show on the road? I'm trying to talk to you, talk about you, or do stuff over here. Anyhow,
Can women? Why
so
does it say
the premise
pregame episode?
so far
Oh my
is
gosh.
a resume for. I didn't even look. What is your wife resume? Was I supposed to ask for one?
I don't know why this is.
Am I supposed to be collecting
not
these?
supposed to be. Okay, let me switch.
Is that what's going on?
Let's.
Nobody told me.
What is your wife resume? Okay,
Well,
and then
Last time
I would
somebody
like
wifed me.
to switch it to
Oh,
instead of
you.
I think it's this one.
So are we just going to
Oh,
start
that's the
with the false
reactions.
premise that
Thing doesn't really work
job,
either. Okay. Anyways,
application
now we're back. Sorry,
equals
guys. I had to fix the stream.
relationship
So,
application?
today, what's Pearl talking about? One,
I don't know what
can I get a
Pearl's
compliment on
talk.
the hair?
What Pearl?
On
Tell
the
us.
hair. Thank you. Okay.
We're talking about Pearl's
so,
hair now.
on the show,
What?
I constantly say,
I'm confused. Huh?
if you were applying to a job, you would have a resume and talk about your work experience.
Yes, your
Now,
job. Yes.
Oftentimes in the manosphere, in the red pill,
In the red pill.
we get mad at the women, right? They have these high standards and they bring nothing to the table. But let's.
Okay, so the premises are already out of control.
Okay, that's true. That's absolutely true. Modern women, we bring very little to the table. However, I'm going to play devil's
what
advocate
way?
for 2 seconds. Okay, 2 seconds. When I ask the men,
Substantiate one of the
Question,
things you're
please.
saying, please, Pearl.
what should women bring to the table? Their answers are very broad.
Because
Respect, caring,
everybody's
loving,
an individual
feminine.
and
Like,
has had.
let's take one of those. Feminine.
Okay. What?
What does that mean? Now, it's
I don't know.
tough,
You tell
right?
me.
Because feminine, it's kind of like you just know it when you see it. We can all think of
Do
that
you?
girl. That's
Okay, so we're
naturally-
here. We've just leapt around with what seems like a myriad of premises. Premisi. I don't know. A lot of ideas that seemingly go together. But if we take them apart, do they? And let's just start with the idea that somehow your work at your job is equivalent to work in a relationship. Is that the same? I think that sounds pretty insane. Sociopathic almost. I mean, it's not the same. Emotional work and being reliable and accountable to another human, that's a totally different thing. And that's what relationships are. Being reliable to the people around you. Being a good friend. Being someone that can be counted on in all occasions. And it's tough because nobody's perfect. And that's often the best partnerships or the best paired people are those that make up for each other's I don't want to call it deficiencies because it's not. Nobody's perfect. Nobody brings 100% of everything to the table. That's just not possible. There's 8 billion of us. And it seems to me a salacious and a false argument in itself to say that there is some matchable quotient of characteristics that make up the perfect XYZ marryable partner. Now, for a long time, self-help folks have written about, and this goes back to Kellogg, I looked it up, to make a checklist, a self-checklist. And it can come in the form of a resume. But this is not something you're going to present to somebody else. It's a journal entry. It's something for yourself. And this is, anybody should be doing this anyways, because it's self-observation. And if you're honest with yourself, you can be honest with other people. Or find the emotional intelligence to find out how honest you're supposed to be. Because nobody likes a completely honest person. Look at me. Tell people the truth and they freak out that there's something else going on. That there could be nuance. Good golly, have a conversation with nuance? Oh gosh, that'd be tough. I want to have a conversation about a simple idea. Yeah, I know you do. Hi, Pearl. Are we in your show now?
Just a freaking feminine woman, right? In our heads.
Just a freaking, just a freaking feminine woman. Look. There's a scale of humanity that ranges so wide that when I hear limitation of conceptual, it's a bias, a limitation of the concept of what a human can be, male, female, or otherwise. Because, by the way, when we can get to this at another point, sexuality is a many-leveled thing, and gender is even more varied, more so earnestly and biologically than race. And when I'm saying that, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack, but that's okay. Because 1 out of every 8 people, the same amount of people that have red hair, like Pearl, are hermaphrodites. So that means everybody, for the same amount of people, as you're walking through a crowd or at a concert that you see with red hair, there are that many people who are hermaphrodites, who have both sexes, whether they know it or not. It can be chemical, it can be internal, it can be also full-blown, look like a man, have a woman's gear, or both, or vice versa. There are that many hermaphrodites in the crowd. That said, the concept of what a woman or what a man is and has always shifted variably over time. The roles, the belief systems, and it really depends on where you are on the planet and what the values, your culture, and background bring. To say that we're not better off now would be ignoring everything humanity has done as a whole, all gender. And it's a simple fear tactic to ignore all of the positive implications for the things that make you scared from lack of perspective. If you've only been around for 25 years, you've only seen the changes in your lifetime. So sometimes it's good to turn to somebody like me and be like, yo, has this always been this way? And I'll be like, nah. No, this is recent. And it's affected and been affected and directed by X, Y, and Z. Isn't it funny how that comes into play there? Because it has. And if you don't know what was going on MTV in the early 90s, and if you don't know what was going on in dating in the 80s, and if you don't know, you would think this is all new. And you would think it was righteous because so many people have capitulated to your nonsense. Like, okay, just go over there and you do you, because that's the planet. And there's enough space, enough of us to simply walk around you, ignore you, and hope that you don't create a caucus large enough to filter out the rest of us who aren't living in fear or living in a lack of perspective, and not including the wider breadth of information at hand. All right, sorry, 3 minutes in, and I'm already 16 minutes on my own. That's me.
What it is. Now, let's say we have a masculine woman listening.
Okay.
How does she take that?
Maybe you do.
And go from now, do I really think you can go from being 100% masculine to 100% feminine? No, I don't. I think it's very unlikely.
Well,
However,
you should know, right? You're the volleyball player.
If she wanted to make changes in the right direction, how would she do that if you guys give these broad answers? Now,
what do you mean?
You may say Pearl. It's so simple.
Tell me, Pearl.
You guys should just know.
What do you mean?
And peace, right? We talk about peace.
Yeah.
But
that should just be for people.
When you guys say what you want, it's very broad. Like peace, what does that mean?
That means not being
It's hard because you
probably
know what it means.
Don't be an asshole.
Like you can think of somebody or a wife or someone that brings their husband peace. But if you were talking to a non-peaceful woman, how would you instruct her to be more peaceful?
I would say, chill the fuck out, asshole.
Let the man take the lead. Look, and you guys have.
I'd avoid them.
Again. I'd
keep calm people in my life.
I'm gonna
unlike
share
me.
My screen.
We're starting her resume. Okay, first off.
Wow, I wish I could be bigger.
You're 6 foot, Pearl.
Here,
how do you want to be bigger? Oh, you mean the image?
Right
no, she's a big girl.
I was just thinking.
She's a big girl.
Okay.
Her roommate is even bigger. It's just a room full of Amazon women talking about how they'll kick your ass.
Okay, well.
What? No, seriously.
Just like,
Pearl could just knock me out.
Whatever.
She doesn't know that.
I'm gonna be in the.
She's got a big old fist.
Could I flip it so I'm big? And
she also, she's a big girl. Agile though, if you ever watch her play, agile. That's what I'm saying. She could don't mess with Pearl. She doesn't know it. But she could knock most of us out.
Let's start. So I'm like, let's construct a wife resume. If you guys had the perfect wife.
Why? The perfect wife?
What would be on her resume? So let's start. She has to be good with kids, right?
Who's perfect? Who's perfect?
And if a girl was going to come to a guy and say, "Hey,
I gotta stop
ready to be a wife," here.
Are you talking about Kevin James' perfect wife? Or Kevin James' perfect wife. I think King of Queens. That was the show. Well, we all know. Nice lady, by the way. Met her once doing a gig. Yeah, anyway, yeah, can't remember. She's the Scientology lady. Ex-Scientology. She goes after them. Anyways, I can't remember. Leah Remini. Yes. That's how my brain works. I have to walk all the way around the subject to get back to the point. Hi, Pearl. How you doing? She's over there in the corner right there now. Stay in the corner, Pearl. Your ideas are antiquated. No, it's just that Pearl's young. And she's looking for an answer. And she's using her own background and her parents as examples. But she got a very idealized idea of what it should be because her parents are from small town. They are middle of the road. They're very smart people. They're very business savvy, and they have an experience that most of us do not have because of where they are, what they brought to the table, and how they work together. That said, I've seen the interviews with her parents and family, and it is not quite the picture she would have you believe, or that she believes. I think she's in a little bit of cognitive dissonance or ideation. She believes that the situation is way more pretty and fanciful, romantic than it actually is. And yeah, so which is why perfect wife, who's perfect wife? To be frank, I want to sit at home and make videos and clean the house and walk the pets, do my art, occasionally go out on the road with a great band, have some very wealthy, very intelligent, very wild, middle of the road human. I say middle of the road because there's this concept that hypergamy is innate to women, and I think that's just a human thing. If you are unsatisfied with yourself, because if you're satisfied with yourself, you know what you want, you know what you need for yourself, you know what gives you joy. So you're not going to be filling your life with things that are momentarily joyful. You're going to try to do better by yourself. And that means that your partnership or your companionship or your whatever it be, your friendships are going to be things that are fruitful in a reciprocal manner, where your friends and your partners and your relationships, they feed off of one another in a positive way. It doesn't mean that's consistent. Sometimes it's in a negative way too. It doesn't make it toxic. It makes it real. It makes it human, because we're not perfect. And I keep hearing the word perfect, and it's just not humble. It doesn't include the humility of humanity necessary to achieve actual bettering of the self. We don't get better if we can't find out what we're effing up. And you definitely can't figure out what you're effing up on if you put everything in juxtaposed terms of perfection versus not perfection. Those are two sides of the scale, and there is no such thing as perfection. That would be a subjective idea based off of an individual's idea or concept or view. And it could be so many things that feed into that. And if you want to talk generalizations, you can't. You really can't. You can look at statistics, but even then, I would challenge that much of what we experience is packaged so that you and I argue over the perfect woman instead of looking at who benefits from telling us that there is such a thing, or a perfect human, or that we should be striving for something beyond ourselves. When life, the gift is living it, not missing it, not being in fear of it, because life is dangerous. And as Pearl points out on her show, and this is one of my favorite points of all time, no one has the right to safety, no matter how much you may believe that you do. The universe is an unsafe place, cold, and in most cases, there's a vacuum out there where there's no oxygen. Here, we're in a safe little incubator, and it could be destroyed by so many just random things. So live every day. This is my only major advice that I know. Live every day very well, or as best you can, or try to bring joy, or try to see joy. And if you're struggling, know that the toughest times can inform the best times and give you a perspective. People without it don't live as wonderful life. They don't have the experiences to give them depth. Anyhow, that's my take. Hot take.
Here's my resume. What should be on it? Now, I need specific job experience history. I'll give you an example. Okay, let's talk about.
Do we really want to hear your
kids?
job,
Okay.
your relationship, job
I'm
history?
gonna make
What
the
is going
font
on? Yeah, make yourself
Is there
bigger.
a better word for this?
Is she gonna go behind me? Do I gotta move myself now?
Can't make yourself
Oh
larger.
no!
I can't figure it out, guys. Oh my god.
Pearl, don't
Am
make
I bigger
me.
now? Oh, is Blessing
Pearl.
fixing it?
Pearl.
Thank you, Blessing. Thank you.
Now you're gonna make me change.
I was like, he's busy. He's on stream. Now, okay. Good with kids. So what we
There
could
we
do
go.
is
Okay, I've just moved over.
an example of a.
There you go, Pearl. Now we can share the
This is still
screen.
pretty
There you
small on
go.
the screen.
There you
It's
go.
bigger.
Goodness.
An example
Yeah,
of
just
a
move
work
yourself over. You didn't
experience
manage.
could be
Good with kids. Babysit.
cousins or brothers and sisters.
Okay, so
whatever
your
it is,
background is you
between
taking care
the
of other people's
ages
children.
of
Not
0
the
to
same,
7,
I'm told. By
twice
people
a week.
with children.
Now, if a man was looking for a girl that's good with kids, and she said, "Hey, I'm good with kids. I babysit my
Did you
cousins
say
twice a week.
alpha man?
They're between the ages of 0 and 7, and
Not an au
I
pair.
watch those little rascals. You know, I do a good job. Whatever. Okay.
Okay. You do a good job with kids. Well, that's good. That's
What else
a
could we
basic
put on there? So, like,
human
let's say cooking.
adulting skill. Okay.
You want a girl that
cooking.
cooks, so
Another basic.
you could put.
we
now,
should
I'm
all
not
know how to
saying
do
that
this.
This is my resume. I'm just gonna. But everyone always harps on me, Pearl. You have no solutions. You just harp on women.
Well, you kind of do.
Do most modern women want
you don't have
to
an answer.
babysit their cousins between the ages of 0 and 7 twice a week
There's a lot.
in order
yes.
to prepare to be a mother?
No, there's.
Don't shoot
That's family,
the messenger.
Pearl.
Okay, don't shoot.
Pearl. Yeah. No, put your hands up, Pearl. You're under arrest. That's. Oh, I'm gonna try to make that the. Oh, well, put them up. Pearl. That's part of being family. I'll be frank. I missed that, and I'm still ticked. Why? My brothers lived too far away, and I was too poor. Couldn't get to them. They weren't bringing their kids to me. And Kathleen, if you ever watch this, you probably wouldn't have trusted me with the kids anyways. But point being, Pearl, these are basic human skills. Something both genders should be doing. And by suggesting that there's some polarization in these just living as a human jobs of daily tasks, as if there's some delineation to the gender in these experiences. It shocks me because I thought we dropped that stuff. I thought we figured out it's just not gendered. That was based off of something that came out of Victorian era. Come on. Yeah, hold your hands up. I'm holding you up. Pew, pew.
The messenger.
Oh, I will, because that messenger's messed up. It's
Okay.
your message. It's your
No,
message.
I'm gonna add more.
What?
I know. So,
Okay.
because what they always say,
Do they? Who's
you know,
they?
what should women bring to the table? Fit, feminine,
Oh.
friendly. Okay.
Fit,
and that's
feminine.
great.
Okay,
But
okay,
it really does.
that's 3 shows, 4 shows. Sorry. What you just referenced, by the way, is the manosphere's repeated call for a certain type of woman that they don't ever seem to have on their shows. Oh, hello, Pierre. That's my dog as he just tap shooed in. These people don't ever seem to be dating or finding or marrying this person that they're describing. And they're sitting at panels interviewing people who were never, ever this imaginary description. So I challenge all of these people to come back to earth. Stop living out of the idea on Instagram. That's a hypnotizing thing. TikTok, hypnotizing thing. Why? Because then it corrals everybody. It gets everybody into little positions. And really, what I've observed is it seems to be a way to continue on the practices of jock social behaviors from high school to university and then out into the real world where it does not apply. Unless you're the actual NBA player or NFL or something of that nature, high earner, which is no different than rock star. They all have their groupies. And that's what a lot of this is. Do these people remain happy? No. They're always in turmoil. They're always acting in hypergamy, looking for it's greener on the other side of the fence. But let me just tell you, the old statement, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't, that's real. Because it's up to us as humans to see the fallibility and humility and the needs of each other and to stop living in hubris. That's just been the general rule for the past, long time. You can go back to the Greeks, see them talking about that, because hubris is a Greek word. Anyways, so simple human tricks. Yes, Pearl, good for you. Okay, let's see how many more simple human tricks you can convince yourself are special.
Doesn't get into the specifics and the nitty gritty. If I'm a girl that's never seen a wife, and I'm like, hey, I'm nice,
girl
I'm
that's
friendly,
never seen
hey,
a
I'm
wife.
fit, okay.
I'm confused. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry, Pearl. Go ahead.
I'm working out, but if I'm a girl from, let's just say, a not so great area where I don't have feminine women examples, okay, fit, feminine, I'm not going to know what feminine is, and I'm also not going to know. Well, that depends on the
standard of the area.
I'm going to think
colloquial.
Friendly is the same thing as being cooperative. Those are two different things. You can be friendly, and you can be friendly and still say, I ain't listening to shit you say.
Well, yeah, well, cooperative is
right?
A subjective
right?
perception. It's
not right. In a friendly tone.
No. And keep laughing. Yes.
I'm sorry,
laugh,
guys. Okay.
Because it's funny. It's kind of weird.
And I know, to the men, you're like, well, what you guys have to do is so simple. We're not even asking for much. You're right. I agree with you. But let's pretend we're talking to a 5-year-old, okay?
For a ton.
Let's pretend we're talking to someone that is
I'm not, though. Pearl. I'm not talking to a 5-year-old. I'm talking to a grown woman. You may be behaving, which you aren't, like a 5-year-old. You're behaving like a woman in her mid-20s who's still carrying the high school ideations of relationships and seeing in this world that you're making money off of, that the conversation and the limitation of that conversation benefits you and your background and ideals, which I've come to find, by the way, are pro-birth and because you don't have answers for afterbirth, by the way. And I have to point this out. Pearl has a little insidious side that she doesn't realize is fairly insidious. She's anti-Roe versus Wade for sure, and yet pushes the idea that adoption is the best alternative. when the same stats that she uses to support many of her points also show that growing up in an institution or starting as an adopted child holds you back the same way a single family or single parent household does. So her argument is nullified, and she tends to use contradicting points that are convenient to her view. And I never noticed her catching that. And she's such a smart person. So, yeah, anyway. What are you telling? I'm sorry, Pearl. Here, what are you saying?
Never seen a stable functioning relationship. Okay. So if you wanted to be a good coach,
she was
you
saying,
could go to culinary.
how do you know
could
what's
say,
feminine
okay,
or not? Look, feminine here is not feminine in Central Africa. Central Africa is not feminine the same way as in Brazil or China or Japan or Russia or it's such a cultural idea. Same with masculine. I mean, these things vary so much across the planet to suggest that because Western American or Western European ideals seem to be the major functioning practices, that doesn't make them that. It's just the one with the loudest horn. Because we got this. And we're not watching, on Weibo or, any of the other language channels. If you're watching English language, you're not getting the other cultural ideas. Unless you're, somebody's got a channel that's interpreting it for you. And there's a couple of them out there. I really like some of these guys who live in Japan or China or Dubai, and they explain to you the differences and from the Western mindset of seeing how what is right and wrong is based on where you're standing on the globe. Believe it or not, no matter how much you don't like it, that is the toughest portion of reality, is that reality is varied and nuanced. Like humans. Imagine that. Since reality is a mirror of humans. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'll just sit around here and keep talking, pointing at her. Listening.
I cook.
Okay, what did you say? We've got like 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in. She cooks dinner for herself
and my roommate.
Yeah, but that's just recent. You just Auntie used to talk to you.
I'm just thinking if she's in her 20s, I cook dinner every night for myself and my roommate. I cook dinner every night for myself and my roommate.
Do you? Is that real? Yeah, you just said that like 3 times.
Specialty meals.
Specialty meals?
Meals include. I'll do mine. Jollof rice.
Jollof
and
rice.
I know. I still gotta, French toast.
So rice, French toast. Wow.
Also, if you hear snoring, that's my dog. I'm sorry, guys. Look, we're balling on a budget out here.
Don't apologize. My dog is tap dancing.
Jollof rice, French toast.
Is owning the background
chicken,
somewhere.
Drumsticks.
Hold on a second. So you know how to make rice, chicken, and French toast.
Indian
Goodness.
food. It's just, we
I mean,
keep the list
by the
up,
way,
right?
can I just point out, this is a great example of how people hype their own resume by making very simple things look a little bigger than they actually are. So if you get someone like me reading this, I'll break it down in my own mind and I start giggling. Oh, good. You've mastered basic elements of cooking.
Get the idea. Good with kids, cooking. I cook. So if a girl came to you on a date and you're like, look at
human.
And also, guys, a lot of you, We have to
Yes.
think about
A lot of us?
what type of wife do you guys want? Do you want to be paying 100% of the bills?
No.
Or as a girl, do you
Not
want
at all.
him to pay 100% of the bills?
Be honest with you.
Okay,
No.
I mean, we could want what we want.
I want some
Are
equality.
you gonna get a guy?
I've always paid. Come on.
Are you gonna get a guy that's gonna pay 100% of the bills?
No.
So
No, you're not.
And what would life
You shouldn't
like
expect
that look like?
And if you do, you're
you
lucky.
know, if you're
you
with
won
a
the
guy
lottery.
that's paying 100%
That's
of
either
the
direction.
bills, he might want you to need some bread from scratch. You got the time. You're home all day. Why can't my man get
Why
some
are you
bread
home
from
all
scratch?
day? Get something to
But
do, kids.
If you're working 20, 30 hours
Put the phone
a week,
down.
are
20,
you really gonna have
30
time to knead the
hours
bread,
a week.
you know?
What
I'm just-
planet does Pearl live in? Sometimes she says things that are so obvious that she grew up with money. No matter how much she liked to think that she has middle-class standards, she is wealthy girl language. Including a while back, she did a video where she said she had tried to do better on her stream, and she was working things out, and it was so complicated, and she was wondering if she was just going to dump the whole thing, go home. And she said, I bought a producer, I bought new editors. You what? We were worried about Andrew Tate. That guy just had, Porn Channel. Doing the thing that's been done for the past 35 years. His was an old scam. But this, wow. Anyhow.
Pearl's just thinking here.
Yeah, clearly.
So, cooking. So let's
Yes,
say
you can cook.
I cook dinner every night
Kind
for
of.
myself and my roommate. You could even my brother's
Can
fiance,
cook
this is how she
without
got the ring,
flavors.
went to culinary school for fun.
That's
I
privilege.
don't know what the official certification she has, but I'll just say
Yeah, there's none.
culinary school.
She
So
went-
you could come to a guy.
Wait, hold on a
and you
second.
could
Is
say,
she
"Hey,"
enlisting because her sister-in-law went to culinary school?
Hey, I want to be your wife. Okay, here's my resume.
Want a
I'm good
beer
with kids.
wife.
I
Everybody wants a
babysit my
beer
kids.
wife.
So when a guy says, "What do you bring to the table?" you could say, "I'm good with kids. I babysit my cousins between the ages of 0 and 7 twice a week. I know how to." And
Okay.
the more in specific we talk, the more I know that it's real. Okay. I know how to.
Bated breath.
I know you could put
Breathy bait.
and you could even put,
Ed.
you could even.
What?
I think you can volunteer to
I think.
watch babies. I think.
What is she?
I mean, we'll just stick to babysitting. We'll just.
Yeah, you had it at babysitting. Yeah, you're reaching. What are you talking about? You volunteer to watch babies? Babies? What are you talking about? What universe does Pearl live in? Volunteer to watch Romanian babies as they are transferred illegally. Or, I don't know. I'm just saying that. Just throwing that out there. Because Pearl.
Stick to babysitting. Okay. You could say cooking. Let's just say you're in your 20s, right?
Let's just say.
I cook dinner for myself and my
I will
roommate
say,
every night.
you are in
my
your
specialty
20s.
Meals include jollof rice, French toast, chicken drumsticks, Indian food,
Boy, you are.
whatever it is. Okay.
It's taken a long
And I
time
went
to get
culinary
this
school
very
for 3 months
short list.
because I just wanted to learn.
Oh, no.
That is something that you bring to the table.
Is it basic human skills?
That is something that you bring to the table. Now,
No. Okay,
what
let's
other
stop
skills
here.
could a more modern
That's-
man want?
Oh, my God. What else? A bunch. How about a thoughtful partner? How about somebody who's inspiring? How about an education? How about an attachment capability and a reliability and an accountability that's quantifiable? How about an emotional intelligence? How about a life of your own? How about a decent family surrounding you? How about showing up? I mean, that's kind of a bunch of the other things, but humans are not easily quantified into simple lists because we are nuanced creatures that all need something different, and every person is their own. So if you try to sum people up, no matter how much you generalize, you will, at the end of the day, have to deal with the individual standing in front of you. So all these rules go flying out the door as soon as you get to the individual person. It'll get you in the door, all these stupid things the manosphere pushes. It'll get you in the door. But you notice, none of these folks have what they're talking about. None of them. I'm not saying I do, but at least I'm not, well, at least I'm not. I'm just happy. That's all I know. I don't live in some kind of need to keep chasing the pursuit of happiness. I believe in the right to happiness. So, and you got to do that for yourself, because otherwise you'll just take part in the pursuit and be chasing. And life is to be lived, folks. Take a drink of water, Pearl, for real. That big ass bottle. By the way, you don't need 8 cups of water a day. You know that, right? That's not a thing. That's science, kids. Anyways, she's a volleyball player. She's a big girl. Not like big. No, she's like I said, yeah, she could knock you out. Like just her hands. Like I'm just gonna. I don't know if I can. Her hands are bigger than mine, and I got big hands. Her girlfriend and not girlfriend. You know, her roommate, good looking lady, but I can't imagine how big her boyfriend must be because her girlfriend is like 6'3", and I know she's not dating somebody who doesn't compliment that size because of all these rules they got. So he's got to be like 7'11". It's an Amazon house. That's all it is. And then actually every once in a while, Auntie, who's another person on her shows, will come into the frame and she's 5'3" or something, and it's like looking at a midget in there. Anyways, I get off topic. Drink your water, Pearl.
Because let's be honest.
Can we? Can we? Thank you.
Is there men that want more modern skills from women?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love for you to edit.
Now,
please.
I'm just thinking of my good friend Donovan's relationship.
Okay.
His girlfriend, now fiance.
And
also, stop talking trash about Donovan, y'all. Donovan's
Why?
my boy. I don't really want to make this stream about Donovan.
Please.
That's my boy.
Yeah, because now I don't know what we're
there's
talking about.
more to certain situations than meets the eye, but when
Why
you're
are
in the
people
middle
done
of a legal battle, there's only so much you yourself can say. But that I'm just gonna leave that at that. But I think of his situation. His fiance does
She's
his
in a legal battle?
proficient in SEO. Now, are most men gonna want this? Do most men need SEO and marketing?
No, but you know what? I'm not gonna lie.
Everything that
Look,
a girl
I'm not gonna lie. But if you bring that to the table, I'm including you, and I'm gonna be like, baby, you run that SEO. You get that? Yeah. Give me the numbers. Yeah. Sorry, it's a little aggressive, but yeah. Oh no, that's sexy talk. That's woo. That's okay. So one of the things I keep hearing is this concept that the top percentage of these people that she's talking about are somehow the best looking, and because they're talking about the wealthiest of the wealthy, the tallest, the best looking, and they all have tens for wives. When the truth is, if you look at the world's top 100 richest people, they're average looking, kind of stubby, maybe a little fuzzy around the edges, because they don't care. That's not their focus. And their wives are normal, or they've been done up because they have so much money. But for the most part, it's all normal people who look a little better because they got so much money. This idea that the top percentage is all this beautiful world of people is just untrue. Have you seen them? Have you been in the room with them? It's just not true. It's the step down. It's a couple steps down. It's maybe in the top 20th, but it's below the top 10. It's almost as if there's some, corralling of these pretty people together. Look up, people. Sometimes there's other reasons things happen. Yeah, who does it benefit? Who does it benefit? That's my question. No, just gonna let that hang out in the back of your head. Back there. Right back there. Yeah. Okay. Pearl?
Potentially bring to the table.
What do you potentially... We're still talking about this. Yes. Yes. I hear you. We're talking about this.
Proficient in SEO marketing. Worked
sexy
at
talk.
a marketing firm for 2 years.
Leave it at marketing firm.
And I don't know. You can put in some stats about...
But once again, now we're back to job.
SEO search stat. I don't do SEO.
No,
Someone
of course you
else
don't.
might.
Someone else does.
I'm going to put SEO. Maybe I should. All right. Now what else?
Maybe you should. I don't know. You tell me. No, I'll tell you. No, you tell me.
What else could we put?
Sorry, I'm on my phone. That's so rude to you.
Oh.
Rude.
In shape.
You are in shape.
You could put, hypothetically...
Kick someone's ass. I've said it
We
like
should do
4
a call-in
times now,
show.
right?
What does your wife resume look like? Send me your wife resumes, people. Just pearlythings@gmail.com.
It's just not. These don't
in
happen.
Shape. Go
Pearl.
to the gym.
It's not real.
Go to the
and
gym
if you do
3
have
times
one,
a week.
if
So
you do
if
have
I was
one,
to put the in shape thing.
it's a little insane. It's obsessive, fearful, fear-driven. Look, self-identifying and making a list of what it is we could do better on for ourselves. Hey, that's valuable. It's a checklist for ourselves. We need to check in with ourselves all the time. That's not selfish. It's important to grow as a human because you do that for other people and yourself. Yourself first, and then it affects positively other people. But if you're doing this list because you think relationships are jobs, you're feeding into... It's like a wife mill set up to create a certain type of person. And Pearl, you're smarter than that. Honestly, earnestly, frankly, Jolie, Pearly, you're smarter than that. You're caught in this little maze right now of feeding into what limits everybody, when I'm sure you will find some NFL player or a basketball guy or a coach or admin. I don't know. You're going to find somebody who's going to match you. Who's going to be your height, or maybe not. It's going to be something unexpected, and you're not going to know what to do with yourself because you're going to, at first, question because it doesn't match all these rules and ideals you've set for yourself. And then sometimes humans miss that moment, and it never comes back. And that's why I always say, don't let your ideals get in the way of reality, because reality will always provide the best answer. It's how we respond to it. It's whether or not we work within the parameters that help us get somewhere. And it doesn't have to be up. It can be down. It can be to the right. It could be to the left. Be catty corner. Excuse me as I smack the mic while I'm trying to make a point. Any case. Yes, Pearl. Well, I've let you speak for 15 minutes. I've only been talking for, an hour. All right.
I would put
What?
semi-pro athlete, goes to the gym, I would say 3 times a week, and has done so for
your whole life.
7 years.
Oh.
I
no,
really have not gone a long
that's
time
right.
without going to the gym.
That's right. I saw a picture of her. She used to be, Midwestern. Big. Which is interesting because she has used the word term whale. Majestic creatures, she says. Because she can't say that on her show anymore.
You put in shape, right?
You're a big girl.
Next.
You're a big,
also, I have a
large
coffee.
Amazon.
Not a coffee. I quit coffee. A chai tea, all right, being delivered.
I did not quit coffee. Shout out
blessing
to
if
Don
you're watching
Francisco's.
Turn off
Giving
the
my
buzzer.
life purpose since
just
2003.
in case that they buzz. I know there's a live going on right now.
Kind of. It's a meta thing.
Oh, someone's putting financial literacy.
Financial literacy.
Now,
yeah.
as a woman,
adulting
you should
skills.
probably look at these.
Folks.
I want to put cleaning on here too. I know, guys.
I think I've seen enough here. What really is describing is basic adulting skills. We should all be bringing these to the table. This is the base standard. That's not what the top 1% of the 1% is looking for, if that's what you're trying to get to. The delusion is real. And it's not just amongst one gender. It's a bill of goods that's been sold to us in general. We're having these conversations that don't apply to actual reality. And that sucks. Because there's a reason we're not getting above the simple back and forth of tribal beliefs, of screaming at each other how amazing our prisons are. Look, my prison is prettier than yours. I've got more stuff and people in my prison. Arrgh. Keeps us looking at each other instead of looking up to see why and who benefits from all of this. That is the generalization we should be looking at and wondering about and figuring out, which you and I will as we continue to look up. I'm aronmsound. Make sure to like and subscribe. It's what pushes out the videos. And I'm going to continue on. I'll have another episode very soon, probably today. All right, cool. Hope you're having a great day. Don't forget, as I send us out, it's very simple. Pearl?